Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or if you feel like being a lurker, just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. That's a valid thing you could do. We've got Lashrook here. We got Ghost Valve here. Welcome to everybody here in the chat. It's so nice to see you. It looks like Twitch did some stuff on the back end here that confused me for a second. But what is not confusing is the Wrist fan just subscribed Tier 2 70 months, saying 70. It's a number. So let's also throw the Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 blue emote in chat to thank Aristofan for their many months. That is many months. Thank you so much for that, Aristofan. I appreciate you very much. 70 months is a lot of months. That's a long ass time. So I appreciate you. Welcome everybody. But yeah, this is a little peek behind the curtain here. Normally, when I look at users in the chat, there are a lot of users that are listed there that are only in the chat but not considered viewers, and it's a weird thing you can do where you can join a chat without being a viewer, and those are usually people's real accounts that they don't use anymore, that have gotten taken over by bots, but they don't act like bots, and it's very strange. But that seems to be cleared up. Who knows if that's short term or long term, but right now that's pretty cool. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. So tonight's agenda, such as it is that I will be working on the Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics, as you can see right here. The Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics, which is a gorgeous kit. Umjan is here. Hello, Umjan. Nathan Explosion is here. Hello, Nathan Explosion. Working on the Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics, a truly fantastic looking kit that I have been very pleased to work on. We will continue to work on that kit. As you can see, we have done the chest and the arms. We have the backpack next, which we could have, started it on our own, or we could have worked on it on Monday, but we were wrapping up, so I saved it for today. And yeah, without further to do, let's go to the overhead. Boom, overhead. Oh, everything shook a little bit there. My apologies. Table occasionally shakes here. I wanted to see what people thought. Now, if you didn't watch my video that went up today, that's okay. But I put up another mailbag video, and because I had so many items for my mailbag video, I made the decision that I was going to use kind of what I do, using NVIDIA's broadcast the background remover from NVIDIA Broadcast. That I did that, and I made the image that you see that's right over there, disappeared. And then I just erased myself. I didn't use the border, and I was just kind of like hanging out in the corner. And I was like, do I want to just keep doing that? I kind of like it. I don't know. So I kind of wanted your thoughts on that. Because the mailbag video was extra long for me, because I had a bunch of items purchased for my birthday from my Amazon wish list, including Tony the Swordsman picked up. I got some new snipper clips. Now, of course, these are Chinese knockoffs. These are not, God hands, but they are similar. They're made in the same factories of the, the middle range God hands. But they're very similar to my previous, which are going to become my backups. And now these are my mains because they're new. And why not use the new ones? Let's see. So I need E, A, and D. We'll go A first. But yeah, I had a bunch of stuff there and I wanted to show it off, and I wanted a little more room to look at stuff. So I decided I would do that. But I want to know, because I should say, for folks that maybe didn't watch me as I streamed back in the day in New York, I tried a bunch of different things. I used to, my overhead camera used to not be 16:9. It used to be 4:3. And I would put myself in the middle, like right here. Right here would be me, and I would be building up here, and I would be here via green screen, and I was never good at green screen. So it never looked great, but it worked, but it just never looked great. So I would have it set up on a green screen, and then it was a 4:3 square, and on the sides were the image of whatever I was building, which is now down over here. or over here. There, it's right there. And then I eventually was like, I'm tired of setting up this green screen, and also it doesn't look good because I'm not particularly skilled at getting this to look good. So I made the decision instead to just have myself in a background. And originally that was just a black piece of canvas, because that was also my, because I was like in front, my green screen was a green sheet that I would just put up, and it was like partially in front of a window. And behind that was just a black D19 and D19. Behind that was just a black curtain. I said canvas, but it was a curtain. And there, eventually I decided I'm just going to use that. I'm going to extend the curtain out and just use that as my backdrop, which I think worked well. And then, of course, I kept moving around, and now I am here. And I don't have a green screen. I don't have the intention of getting a green screen, but now I have the NVIDIA Broadcast, which I'll say this. If you were worried that it was going to be a problem with my computer, I use it on Tuesdays when I'm also playing a game on the same computer that I'm running OBS to stream. So if there was, NVIDIA Broadcast is not the bottleneck with my setup if there was going to be a bottleneck, which as of right now, there is not a bottleneck. Everything has been working out pretty good. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, well, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll just be in the corner, you know, with it blacked out, just kind of like in the background. But then I'm like, well, like I'm not going to say this is going to be what we do going forward. But what I would end up doing is I'd get rid of the border here. Now, obviously, I would move myself. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'd move myself because there is this little strip here where the border is, but beneath me, which that doesn't work because that when I go and put on the filter, I'd be floating. So obviously, I would adjust myself so I wouldn't be floating like this, although it is kind of fun to be floating. I would be a little bigger than this here, and I would be mostly in the corner, and then this would be gone. And it would give me all room here, and to put stuff. I could always just keep things over here, and then I would have more build space to put things. And I'm not opposed to it, but I would like your thoughts. If you are here right now in the first 10, 15 minutes of the stream, you are a diehard. And I say that with thankfulness. I am thankful for you being a diehard. But is this like distracting? Is it weird to have me there? Is it the fact that like, well, Pat, it's pretty good for a green screen, but like, it still isn't perfect and maybe it doesn't work great. Maybe using the removal tool where it is up against green isn't the best choice, Pat, which is, I think, like reasonable. And as I said, I would be bigger. I would be more in the corner. I think it like, I don't know. I think it's when I did it for the video that went up today, my mailbag video, I was pretty pleased with how it looked, but I don't know. Lastberg says, I feel like if you did that, you would start to remove backgrounds from kit photos for balance sake, which would be more work. I could see this working out fine. Maybe you could put the pic of the kit on the top left with the webcam on the bottom left. Okay, yeah, so if I was here, then I would put these like above me. I could see that. I think I wouldn't use the frame anymore. I would, let me just experiment here. Let's just copy and paste. I wouldn't use the frame anymore, but I would like do like that. I could see that. And then this would go away. Oh, that area will go away. And it'd be like that. Yeah, that might work. You usually have instructions on the left side, so it's not covering and important. Because I also do have, usually instructions kind of peek in because of the way I have my table set up. And then I would be covering up these. Sometimes I would be in front of the instructions. Yeah, I mean, again, I would be bigger. Oh, I guess what I could do is I could. I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to resize this or mess with this because it fits within the frame and I don't want to fuck with it. But like, yeah, I could play around with that. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm just saying this is an option that I am considering playing around with because I have had this set up for a while. As soon as I found this border, which I really like the way this border looks, I have been thinking about, I've been happy with how this works out. Also, it does hide. So right now, there is a little bit of my microphone sometimes appears right here where my hand is. And it won't because it usually just kind of gets removed as background in the app, which is really nice. This part of the microphone generally doesn't get removed. Yeah, because if I hit the filter... Yeah, the microphone is getting removed, but the piece of the arm does get removed, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. It is something to think about, but it has been a while since I have done anything to mix up how the stream looks. The biggest change I made was this background, was using the cutting board as a background. And then also there was one stream where someone was just like, hey, could you flip the camera? Because you may remember that my hands would come in from the top. And I was like, I don't know if I can. And then it turns out I could do that. And then when I did it, I was like, oh yeah, that's better. Oh no, yeah, that's way better. So that was like instantaneous, like improvement for my opinion. It instantly made things better when I did that. So like, I feel like that's the last big advance I have done was those two things. Also, switching, huge thing was switching to the camcorder, the Panasonic, instead of using a webcam. A pretty good but not incredible webcam. Exact same model webcam that I have pointed at me, all Logitech. Because the digital zoom is incredible. It means that the webcam doesn't have to be, the camera can be far away and zoom in really well, and it works out pretty damn awesome for that. I have to move the table this camera is on because it is now getting too close, and it's shaking a little bit. So I have to move that back a little bit. It moved at some point. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I thought I would bring it up because like I want, again, I'm not necessarily ready to do that. And part of me was like, well, I have this backdrop that I made and I kind of like it, like the wall of the big wall of the tops to model kit boxes. That's just painter's tape. That can come down really easy. I did that on purpose because I didn't know if I was going to like it, and I do like it. And then I'll say this. Tuesdays, when I do a Tuesday stream, and thank you to everybody that came by Tuesday for Electrician Simulator, a game that I don't think is that good, but I'm glad we played it. The thing is, with doing those streams is I'm very happy to do it, but I do have a moment there when I'm getting set up where I go, oh, that's right, I don't have to put 2 boxes with model kits on top of it onto my bed because the background gets removed and you don't see the bedroom or the bed here. And I'm like, yeah, I don't miss that. Now, I will say, if I do keep the backdrop there, or I will keep the backdrop up there even if I stop using it, because I don't think I want a green screen when I do my Kuma Baer videos right now and Pat Bear's Anime Club. I kind of like having a backdrop for Pat Bear's Anime Club because I am most of the camera and the image is kind of small, like my PowerPoint things or Google slideshows are kind of small. So I'm like, I kind of want to keep it for that. So I would keep the backdrop up. I would just stop using this. Or I would only use this for Pat Bear's Anime Club and whatever. And my normal streams, I wouldn't bother having this out. Which, I like having kits on display. I think it's neat. But I don't need them on display. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's something for me to think about. Let's get this pan aligned, and then we'll put on the our beam sabers, which are big because this is a 1/100 scale kit, so that they're large. Let's see. Congratulations to Bethesda Game Studio, Montreal, on your movement towards unionization. We start with the good gaming news before we get into the sadder gaming news stuff, but we'll start positive. Bethesda Game Studios in Montreal is one BGS MTL, as they're calling their union. They have filed a certificate with the Quebec Labor Board, and they intend to unionize, or they intend to unionize with the Communication Workers of America, which is Canada, which is CWA. And I know that is confusing, that is CWA, which is the Communication Workers of America Canada, but that is the Canada branch of the Communication Workers of America. I know that sounds a little confusing, but that's just how things work. And they wanted to keep the name, even though it is just the Canadian branch of that union organization. Let's see. We developers of Bethesda Game Studios Montreal are proud to announce that today we celebrate filing the certification of Quebec Labor Board with the intention of unionizing CWA Canada 1 and joining the broader CWA union family. So this office has been there since 2015. So, about 10 years. This is not the only ZeniMax studio, of course, to go towards unionization, but we wish them well. And I would say I am only a little surprised that we have not seen more union activity from the Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda, ZeniMax, and any Microsoft studio, since they basically still feel the need, even though everything went through. There was a period where they were like, oh yeah, we're not, we recognize unions, because they were so afraid of people being very mad at them as they tried to acquire Activision and such. So I was surprised we didn't see more groups going for that, but good for them. More information as we get it, but that's awesome. Staying in Canada, moving from Montreal to Toronto. Unfortunately, a lot of people got laid off at Gameloft Toronto. Their statement is full of buzzwords like reduction, and just bad. Basically, we don't know how many people exactly, because they did not say in their statement. Would love to stay in Canada. Yeah. But GameIndustry.biz is reporting that, according to their sources within Gameloft, 49 people were laid off, which is a huge number. That is most of the staff. It's not all of the staff, because, of course, IT did not see any drops, although other sources say there are not a lot of people that work in IT in that particular company, or this branch of the company. But no one in HR or management got affected by job cuts, because why would that happen? You can't lay people off if you lay off the HR department, and you can't make the decisions on who gets laid off if you get rid of management. You may know them best for their current work on Disney Magic Kingdoms, which is now moving completely to a Gameloft studio in Ukraine. And apparently also there is an unannounced game that the Toronto team was working on that has been canceled. No mention of if they're going to hire new people for cheaper, or what they're going to do with management when they have let go most of the staff, or what they're going to do with the HR department. What is the IT department even fucking doing if there are not workers? We do not know. Not every worker there was laid off, but also they don't seem to have any projects to work on, especially if they have lost the maintenance they would be doing, or further updates on the game they were working on. One might wonder if they kept numbers at a certain degree to hit the bare minimum necessary for subsidies from the Canadian government. Perhaps. That's speculation. But I'm not a reporter, so I can make baseless speculation. We end with, unfortunately, a very nice quote. The former community team manager, Tasha Huggins, who, of course, was laid off. A lot of incredible talent just entered the market. If you are interviewing anyone from Gameloft Toronto / Disney Magic Kingdoms team, please reach out to me. I would love another opportunity to talk about just how amazing they are, she added in a LinkedIn post, which is how some people found out this was happening, because of course. And it sucks. Also, there were massive layoffs on a large company, Perfect World, which is a Canadian, or sorry, not Canadian, we're moving from Canada to China, a Chinese company that you may know as the people that make deals with Valve to release Valve games in China, like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike 2. They had a North American branch when they were trying to be a global company. That branch went to Embracer, so yikes all around. Not great in many aspects with all of this. But they have several hundred people across all departments. It seems like every department had layoffs except for the esports division, which is apparently not for this company. Like you say, oh yeah, of course, the thing that makes the money, but apparently it doesn't make them that much money, but also doesn't cost them that much money to run their esports division. So they didn't lose anybody there because it just like continues to exist. Perfect World is supposedly working on One Punch Man World, which we've seen demos of and such. And Perfect New World, which is going to be like an online multiplayer thing that might not have even come to North America, but the One Punch Man game certainly was. Now people don't know if and when any of those games are going to come out because so much of that workforce is gone. It's fucking rough out there, and it is not an America only or Canada only or Europe only. It is a worldwide gaming situation where staffing up suddenly yields staffing down. Real fuckery all around. Let's see. I have some good news now. I don't usually talk about New York stuff because I don't live there anymore, and it makes me sad sometimes to reminisce about New York. I certainly will talk about it, but I, on occasion, realize that it makes me feel a little melancholy, and melancholy is not necessarily the vibe I'm looking for on the Kuma Baer Workshop. But I do want to say, according to sources at Gothamist, which is a New York-focused website, that apparently the budget restrictions on the New York Public Library system are going to be removed, and their budget will be reinstated. Sounds like a tentative agreement will be coming out on Friday, tomorrow. But right now, this is just on reporting that seemingly due to public pressure from multiple places, including lots of New Yorkers, the city council and Eric Adams, the current shit mayor of New York, are going to reverse the $58 million cut to libraries. Now you may remember that was apparently to offset the rising cost of overtime for the police department, but $58 million does nothing to that budget, and meant nothing and was just seemingly to punish the very idea of libraries. They had to close. There were certain, on Sundays and Saturdays, it was certainly negatively affecting a lot of people. Yes. The social media team for the New York Public Libraries will theoretically be not have to do memes anymore. That would be great if they could just do reading memes and book memes and not we need money memes. Now this is we do not know. Apparently it looks like their budget might even go up a little bit. Sounds like they might get like $40 million in addition. But again, these are handshake deals. These are not announced yet. This is sources saying that one would hope that these sources talking to Gothamist reporting on it will not fuck up the deal. But one can only, you never know. It is very much a forced error win on just a nightmare. Just a nightmare of just being like, that money goes so far in some directions and doesn't go anywhere in other directions, and it made no fucking sense to take that money out because it wasn't going to make a dent in anything. It was literally just mean. It was just mean-spirited, basically. Just because some people have never used a library in their life does not mean that it is not a incredibly important part of the community. God fucking damn it. But it does sound like the budget's going to go. There was a comment I saw somewhere that I really liked, which said there were a lot of rallies and it got a lot of support, especially with the closures and the fact that there was a heat waves, and that is a place where some people go because it's a free place where people can, get out of the heat, and education benefits, of course, and all of that. But somebody made a comment the other day that I really liked, which just said like, yeah, but at the end of the day, Whoopi Goldberg got mad at Eric Adams, and that actually might have moved the needle more than anything else, was Whoopi Goldberg. It's like, yeah, that might have actually been it. It might have been enough. Because it's like, I don't know, Eric Adams might not give a shit, but here's the thing. Eric Adams has an aunt that loves Whoopi Goldberg. Like, that's just like a fact. That's just a generational fact, considering how old Eric Adams is, how old Whoopi Goldberg is. I don't know if he has an aunt that's living, but like also an aunt doesn't have to be a blood relative in this case. I'm saying statistically, New York, New Jersey, statistically, Eric Adams has a loud woman in his life, in his family, who loves Whoopi Goldberg. Like, that's just statistics. That's what I'm saying. That's just like a reasonable assumption to make. It's just like, oof. Good luck. Good luck, Eric, on that one. Huge Sister Act fan. I mean, it's just one of those things you're just like, I don't know. It's one of those things where like, if you only think about Sister Acts, Whoopi Goldberg is an American institution. For 2 movies, American institution. Beyond being a stand-up that people loved, being a person that did one-person shows, one-woman shows that were beloved, being a black woman telling jokes but also doing drama on television, which is just such a weird, big deal for at the time, of course. Hell, Guinan. Whoopi Goldberg was Guinan. That's enough for a lot of people. She does have an EGOT. And The View. The View is a joke in many ways, but like The View is also something that a lot of people watch and really care about, and is part of their daily life. So like you take a lot of those things into account, and it's just like, Yeah, you kind of don't need that heat, Eric Adams. You kind of 100% do not need that heat if you are trying to go about your day. And again, I am not here to make this a racial thing. I am just saying that statistically, Eric Adams has somebody in his family that fucking loves Whoopi Goldberg. And maybe he does not want that heat. I don't want that heat. Kidding me? I'm not related to any of this. And I don't want that heat. All right. Chin. Then we got to get the face on. I don't know how his face goes on. I will tell you this, friends. As I am constructing this model kit, I will tell you that I am fucking loving the idea, the very concept as I build this kit, the very fact that I am putting this together. B1. Is this B1? Did I grab the right piece? This doesn't necessarily feel like B1. No, that is B1. Okay. I am loving the fact that I am building this model kit. And, there's some under getting on B11. Okay. I'm not putting in a single sticker on the head. Oh, that's so nice. Ooh, full mechanics kit, large scale. We can do it all in plastic. It's so great. We just got raided by Harold. Thank you. Welcome, Raiders. Hello, Harold. Happy to have you here as we work on this fine model kit. And I get these little nubbins cut off here. But yeah, big model kit here. Do not need any stickers because of it. Just layers of plastic. It's so nice. Put that there. And Harold is here, so we appreciate that. And Lacression hits the dance button, and I will do a little dance. New song coming out in July, but it's still June, folks. Oh, and then Harold says, I can't hear you right now, which is okay. Hopefully you'll hear me soon. And the cool music. Ladies of a certain age love the late 80s, early 90s of her career. Yes. There are certainly, as I said, and again, it doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying it is without a doubt or without question, like only certain ladies of only certain generations that are like, don't you fucking take, like, you made Whoopi mad. Like, no, that's not, I'm not saying that is like only certain women of certain demographics or whatever. But I am saying that I am aware that there are a lot of women out there that are just like, you are fucking around. Whoopi Goldberg is mad at you, and therefore I am mad at you. Is not a thing that I would want. So, congratulations to New York Public Libraries. It should not have come to this. It should not have gone this far, but it does look like you are getting your way and you are going to get your budget back. So, congratulations to you. Why can I not get this? We are running into our first issue of this build, which is I can't get this face to look right. I am going to go in biggin this here. Okay. So let's look at this face. The chin isn't down, so I can't look at that part yet. Let me put this piece on. All right, so that goes like that, but this has to go in over that. Okay. So I know that. I understand this piece is going to go there. All right. Now that I know how that's supposed to look, I can push this back there. We'll go there. Well, good. I know that you can hear things, Harold. That's cool. We got some wrestling we can talk a little bit about. The card for Forbidden Door is all but set. That's AEW's big event this Sunday, with also with wrestlers from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, not Tokyo, what was I saying? With Stardom, wrestlers from CMLL in Mexico, and also wrestlers from New Japan. So there are 4 promotions along with AEW taking part in events this weekend. It is a big thing. Okay, there you go. That gets the face on there. Big thing. All matches have been set in place. There are 2 competitors who were not announced, who will be announced on Collision, which was taped after Dynamite. So that's going to air on Saturday. But here's the thing. That's going to air on Saturday. We wouldn't see that anyway because it would air while I'm streaming. So I will mention the two names that will get announced on Saturday because one of them felt like a no-brainer, and the other one isn't a no-brainer, but like makes a lot of sense. So we'll just say it and it's fine. We did find out that they announced all of the undercard 0 hour, I should say the pre-show matches. All three of those are fucking bangers, and a unique thing in AEW history, there are more women on the pre-show than on the main card, but there are still a ton of women on the main card. Between the pre-show 0 hour and the main card, there are the most women, I think, ever on an AEW pay-per-view. All right, talk to you later, Harold. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate that. Hope to see you soon. Have a good one. So yeah, the most women who have ever competed in AEW on the single card. It is fucking wild. And also this card has, between pre-show and show, 13 matches on the card. 3 in 0 hour, 3 0 hour, and then 10 on the main card. It's going to be a very long show. Only 4 belts that belong to AEW on the line, and then 2 other belts on the line as well. So I will go down this illustrious card, which again does have some real fucking bangers. There's going to be some good ass wrestling happen on this show. We will start with, of course, in the beginning of it, we've got Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe with Stokely Hathaway. So that's Chris and Momo in a tag match against Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano. And Tam and Willow is a pairing I did not expect, but I'm really into the idea of. I think that could be really good. Chris and Momo, I think, will be fine. I'm more interested in Willow and Tam as a tag team. I think that's really interesting. My guess... you know what? I'm going to do predictions on Saturday. I'm going to wait till Saturday to do predictions. We'll just got to talk about it tonight. Our second one, Mariah May with Timeless Tony Storm in her corner, and also Luther, and also Mina Shirakawa is going to be in her corner. So that there should be some shenanigans there. Versus Saraya, who will have Harley Cameron and Jay in her corner. This is part of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. This is the women's division. Willow and Chris will be wrestling on Wednesday for that. So this will be Mariah and Saraya. This feels like a thing that I was imagining it was going to happen on TV. I am happy it's in the pre-show. This will be definitely also, not maybe only about, but also about, the fact that Mariah is stuck between her former tag team partner and her current sensei, basically, teacher and master. So that's kind of interesting that we're going with that particular part of the storyline. I think that's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to take out B17 early, and I'll clean that up. These snipper clips are working great. They are nice and sharp. They're new and feel pretty good, I will say. That's my early review of these snippers from a no-name brand on Amazon. Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is a staple. This is the Japanese branch of Los Ingobernables in Mexico. So we have Sujiri, Titan, and Himuro Takahashi versus the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Phoenix, and Mystico. The Lucha Brothers tagging with... Okay, so I'm not going to get deep into politics in a way that I don't understand. Mexican wrestling politics. We've got CMLL guys wrestling with the Lucha Brothers. Now, the Lucha Brothers are not signed to AAA, the other big Mexican wrestling promotion. They are not signed to AAA. They used to be. They are currently only signed with AEW. This feels big. This is them declaring, hey, the Lucha Brothers are AEW guys. They are not AAA guys who work in AEW. There is, this is not a cause for a riot. This is not them saying next time they're in Mexico, they're going to show up at CMLL, although maybe. It means that they can work with Tokyo Joshi. Or sorry, not Tokyo Joshi. I keep saying Tokyo Joshi. It means they can work with CMLL in the future, which nobody would have ever probably guessed that they would work with CMLL. But also it means they can work with New Japan, which people would not have guessed as a possibility. We do not see Roosh on the card here because of his public support of a shitty dude in CMLL, which is all I'll say about that. But the very idea of anybody from AAA or AAA associated being on this card is wild. And there we go. It is a big goddamn deal. This feels very huge. And that's going to be a killer match. That's a pre-show match that could steal the show. And feels significant. I cannot okay, there we go. I could not figure out how to get this part of the face done, and I have figured it out. So hooray for me. We also have the main card. That's all the fucking pre-show. The pre-show is goddamn stacked and would be a good pay-per-view on there. The actual show. Opening match, Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and as we find out on, I believe we find out either on Rampage tomorrow or on Collision on Saturday, the final member joining for the ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship is El Fantasmo from New Japan. And El Fantasmo is going to do a great job in a ladder match. This is Jack Perry's to win, probably. Again, we'll talk more on Saturday about going through that. Timeless Toni Storm puts her AEW Women's World Championship on the line against Mina Shirakawa. Mariah May is in the corner of both women. This match is going to be fucking great. I can see these two working really well together. It's going to be real fun. And it could even get a little brutal. There is the possibility of brutality in this particular match. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, this piece isn't setting in place. Hopefully this little piece of plastic here is not going where I need to go. And my hope is that once I put in the face mask part, this does not want to set in place. But I'm hoping that when I put the V-fin there, it'll work. So we'll try to get the V-fin on. I need F1, 2. But yeah, hopefully that'll stay in place. And if not, although liquid cement didn't hurt anybody. It is clear plastic, so I kind of don't want to use liquid cement unless I have to. Mercedes Moné is putting her AEW TBS championship on the line against Stephanie Vaquer, who is putting her New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Again, there are 2 women's belts in New Japan, even though New Japan does not have a women's division. But they do have, they don't have an official women's division, but they do have women's belts, and those are generally wrestlers from Stardom, although some international wrestlers also jump in there as well, like Mercedes Moné. But this is for both belts, and that should be pretty fucking good. I think the two of them will have a solid match. Okay, so on Saturday, we find out who is replacing Brian Keith, who is injured, but I believe is a kayfabe injury because he is still taking bookings. I didn't watch the last one because I was in my CM Punk blackout. Has anyone not from AEW won a title match in these shows? If an AEW belt is on the line, no. But there are belts on the line on this show that are not AEW belts. So maybe. Nobody from one company has won the belt from another company. It's going to change, though, because Mercedes is going to win the New Japan Women's Strong Championship. The one that she didn't win when she got hurt facing Willow that one time. She's going to win that belt. No other, the other, I do not expect El Phantasmo or Leo Rush to win the TNT Championship. Although Leo Rush apparently is going to be getting more bookings with AEW, although he's here right now as a New Japan guy. I do not expect. And also there are not a lot of belts on the line. But yes, a New Japan belt is going to be won by AEW. I do not believe that Mina Shirakawa is going to win the women's belt. I do not believe Stephanie Vacour is going to win the TBS championship, the Women's World, or the TBS championship. I do not believe those will change hands at all. I have no basis to believe that. But we do know that on Saturday, you find out that Jeff Cobb from United Empire, Jeff Cobb, a big fucking man. Jeff Cobb is going to be joining Chris Jericho and Big Bill in the Learning Tree to take on Shibata, Samoa Joe, and Hook, theoretically setting up a singles match with Jeff Cobb and Samoa Joe in the future, which they were supposed to do at one point, but injuries and delayed that match, and it never happened. Truly don't understand that AEW hasn't had Cobb on more. Yeah, my impression is that Jeff Cobb wants to work Japan. Like, Jeff Cobb is very much interested in working Japan and will do shows here, but is not inclined to do U.S. tours. That is my understanding. I do not know for sure. But we might... Here's the thing. He's got a TV belt. It's a Japanese TV belt, but he's got a TV belt, and Samoa Joe loves being the TV champion of whatever company he is in. So there's precedent. We might see the two of them face off. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. No belt on the line. This is just bragging rights. This is a match that they have both wanted for a long time. This feels like a smaller indie, or maybe like Ring of Honor a couple years ago would have paid a lot of money to make this match happen, because these two have always wanted this shit. I'm glad we're doing it here at Forbidden Door. It feels right. Jon Moxley is going to lose the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to Naito. Tetsuya Naito. That is my belief. My belief is that Naito is going to win that belt, because Jon Moxley is not in the G1. If Jon Moxley was in the G1, where you would normally have your belt, I would say that Jon Moxley would retain. Since he is not retaining, since he is not in the G1, it is my belief that he is going to lose and drop the belt to Naito. That is my guess. I do not know, of course, but that is my belief. Kind of sounds like Naito's last ride. Yes, it would be Naito's last ride. And Jon Moxley having that belt felt like a big deal and was fucking cool. But I don't think he necessarily needs to continue to be a champion. MJF versus Hechicero. I have trouble with that name. My apologies. Hechicero from CMLL. This match feels random as shit. This match feels like, they wanted to do Roosh and MJF at the pay-per-view, and they can't do that because there are people in CMLL who fucking hate Roosh. So that's what it feels like. There's politics involved. Hechicero has been a name for himself. MJF versus a submission grounded-based luchador is cool and weird. Because he has been able to do other stuff, MJF has not given a racist promo about Mexicans yet, which is fantastic. That's been very nice. He didn't even do it against Roosh. He spoke in Spanish to insult Roosh at one point, but that was not insulting the language. That was just insulting his opponent. And I was like, ooh, that's great. Thanks for being that reserved. The match will be fine. I imagine this is a 10-minute match, and it is MJF escaping some bullshit and dealing with outside interference and perhaps setting up some future storyline stuff, maybe even that night. Because I think it'll happen early so he can get involved in some bullshit. The Elite, Matthew Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kazuchika Okada are taking on the tag team, the trio known as Scissor Ace, which is Anthony Bowens, Max Caster of the Acclaimed, and Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Ace of New Japan, the president of New Japan, who basically they said Billy Gunn called his famous friend to help out, which doesn't make any sense because why wouldn't Billy Gunn be the trio partner in this match? Doesn't make any sense why he wouldn't want to do it. But it isn't. Also, Tanahashi has history with Okada, and it's a good pairing. That's a weird thing. I imagine the Elite will win because the Acclaimed have a tag match, a title match opportunity. I thought it was going to be the tag belts, but no, not tag belts. Two more matches to talk about here, and then we'll do other stuff, talk about Pause of the Cause and all those other things. Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi in the Men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. This is a wild thing. The winner of this faces Pac. Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi, fucking, that shit rules. That is some weird ass booking. This is some like booking for sickos. It's me. Hi, I'm the sicko. Yes, it's Dragon versus Dragon. It's going to be awesome. I hope it has I hope they get a half hour. I don't know. I love that Takagi was out there saying, hey, if I win, I will cancel my match at Kirkin Hall and I will go to Chicago to beat Pac. And I was like, I love that you are kayfabe figuring out a way you can be there. You are not winning. I am sorry, Shingo Takagi. I imagine this is Bryan Danielson picking up the win here. Now, will Bryan Danielson continue to win? That's a different question. I can see a world in which Bryan Danielson beats Pac. I can also see in a world where Pac beats Bryan Danielson because the winner of the Owen gets a title shot. And I am trying to will into existence the idea that at All In, there is a British citizen, a British/American citizen, dual citizenship, that there is a British-born wrestler in the main event of All In fighting for the world title. Because I don't think we're going to get it the other way, which is a British world champion defending the title. So my hope would be that it's that. But then also, I don't know if Pac is even going to win this whole tournament because the wild card is being picked by the Elite, and everybody and their mother thinks the wild card is Hangman Adam Page. And so we get Swerve versus Hangman at the main event of All In, which makes a lot of sense, but neither of those men are British. And to that I say, boo, put British people in big matches. Yes, I am sure that Will still have the international title, and Will face somebody there, and it will be cool. Maybe he'll face MJF and Daniel Garcia in a trios match. But you understand giving BD the belt, but would he ever have a long run with it? No. Bryan Danielson does not need a title run. He does not want a title run. He wants big matches with weird people from different countries and wrestling styles, and he has a bucket list. You know who Bryan Danielson wants to wrestle it All In? I don't know this, but I know this. He wants to wrestle a guy who never retired. He just stopped working. He never officially retired. Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, All In. That's what Bryan Danielson wants. And I know this because Bryan Danielson is a goddamn sicko. So of course he would want to face that man. But that's the match. That's the fucking all-in match. That's actually Nigel McGuinness's retirement match, who, again, just stopped working, never retired. Was never told to. He just moved on because he had aches and pains. Yeah, Bryan Danielson does not need a main event all-in going for the world title against Ospreay or against Swerve. Speaking of which, Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana versus Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is not putting his international title on the line. It is not a title for title match, although that would be funny. Also, Will Ospreay was like, if I win that belt, I'll defend both of them, which was like, oh, Will, your character is so dumb. He is so nice and dumb. Anyway, for a long time, I thought Will Ospreay was going to win. But now I think Swerve Strickland is going to win and Hangman is going to win the Owen. But I want Pac to win the Owen. I want Hangman Adam Page to not... I want Swerve Strickland to interfere so that Hangman cannot win that. And Hangman doesn't win it. Because Hangman is supposed to be the heel in this. And this is a big thing. I am not a Jeff Jarrett fan. I am not thrilled with Jeff Jarrett in AEW outside of his role behind the scenes. I think his role behind the scenes makes a lot of sense. Him being in events, that makes a lot of sense. Him being on my television does not make me happy. I am not pleased when I see him on my TV. But track it down if you haven't, if you're at all a wrestling fan. Jeff Jarrett does an interview about Owen Hart and how much Owen meant to him and continues to mean to him and how much Owen's kids mean to him. And he gave this lovely promo about how he's got less days going for him than he's had in wrestling. But he wants to do it for Owen and he wants to win this tournament. And Jeff Jarrett is going to lose to the wild card that the elite are picking. Jeff Jarrett is being set up as the babyface who is doing it for Owen, doing it for his fallen friend, who he has, and that interview is fucking great. It's totally worth taking a look at. And it's going to be Hangman Adam Page, and the crowd is still going to cheer Hangman. Because, yeah, Jeff is there for his friend, and he wants to win the big one, but people really like Hangman Adam Page, and I don't think it's going to work. Also, there's thoughts that Hangman will interfere in Swerve versus Will to make sure that Swerve wins. He will cheat for Swerve because he wants to face Swerve. And then there's also thoughts that MJF, who got upstaged by Will Ospreay on Wednesday, will also fuck around. And then also Will Ospreay is ostensibly in a stable that is a heel stable, even though he is a babyface, and they could be sick of that shit. We could have Trent attack Will Ospreay. It could happen. There's so much. We'll talk more about this whole damn thing on Saturday as we get ready for that pay-per-view on Sunday. But right now, what's going to happen is I'm going to do a pause for the cause. I'm going to talk about ways that you, the viewer of the Bill Bear Workshop, can help me out if you would like to. Everything I'm about to tell you here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you would like to, that would be great. If you don't want to help out, then yeah, just watch the streams. That's cool. You don't have to spend money on me. You can. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue Emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you link it with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it for anybody. If you want to use it for me, you can. I mentioned the Blue Emote. That's me as Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Pat from Dragon Ball Super. Aristophan has that emote because Aristophan is a Tier 2 subscriber. If you want to become a subscriber, even a Tier 1, you can do that. Prices are going to go up in America, so if you want to get a subscription in now, save yourself some money, that would be great. You could also do some cheer. You could join Harold in the cheerleader board. If you want to do that, these are optional ways to support what I do here. You don't have to do any of this stuff. But if you wanted to, you could. You could gift a sub like Bobby Dice Roller and Aristophan and Carl, Havoc and Lashbrook, who all gifted subs. You could do that if you wanted to. We're currently well beyond my goal of 40, but that's going to drop down. That number is going to go down at some point. That's the easiest way to support me financially is through Twitch, because you're already here in the system. You'll probably subscribe to somebody, or you got your Twitch Prime token because you haven't quit Amazon Prime. You keep saying you're going to, but then you buy something and you're like, oh, that free shipping was worth it. And they got that other show. They're going to do another season of the Fallout show. So, I'll keep going. They got some documentaries. Sometimes I look up a documentary. It turns out it's on Amazon Prime and I already got it. I know, I get it. I know you. If you want to support me over on Patreon, that's an alternative. Another way to support me financially is Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. Should tell you over on Patreon, this weekend there will be a Q&A video that'll go up to all my patrons for me. That is my only exclusive content that I do in the entire world is a Q&A that only my patrons see. And I got some good questions for that. Consider joining me on Patreon. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can subscribe for free, see the videos that I make, which I'll be promoting a little later, my Monday videos and my Wednesday videos, and then my random stuff like the mailbag videos. Also, you can become a member over on YouTube memberships, and for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you'll get them before other people. So you would have seen my Star Driver video on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Let's see. Those are all monthly ways to support me, but if you want to help me out, once in a while, you can make a donation to support what I do here through my Ko-Fi or my PayPal, and everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense. So watching my videos helps me out if you watch a couple ads, or if you have YouTube Premium and watch my videos, I get credit as if you saw ads. Through Patreon and through Twitch, subscribing to any of those helps me out. It all goes into a fund, and from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits. The Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics that I am currently building right the fuck now. I was able to purchase this kit because of your generosity. Past you is helping present me, which rules. I have a bunch of stuff in my backlog I will be happy to build. But right now, I'm going to be building stuff after this from my wish list that people bought for my birthday. A bunch of people stuff. I got an old model kit that's going to be really fun to build. I've got a couple small little Lego sets to build as well. I got some gear. Very kind. If you want to buy something and have it jump the queue and become the next thing I build, which in this case is after the Gundam Aerial and such, you can go to my wish list and see if there's something there that strikes your fancy. I got Lego sets. I got model kits. Inexpensive kits. Expensive kits. I try to keep stuff that's like on there that's like $15 or lower. And then also stuff that's like very expensive. But yeah, I got a bunch of inexpensive things on there. And then I try to throw in a few things here and there. I recently added some stuff to the wish list. I'll tell you, I put in, hey, remember those weird not Lego cars that I built? I put another one in there. It's the Bat sports car, which is clearly supposed to be a Batmobile, but it's made by Mold King, who are the best at the not Lego. I put that on the list. I put the 00 Reborns, not Reborn, Reborns model kit. That's new on the list. A few things that are new that got added. You can see over here the Black Knight Squad Shiva. That's the first of the Black Knights. The second of the Black Knights is out there, which is based on the Maquette Gundam. That is the Rudroa, RUD-RO.A. The Rudroa is another Knight kit. That's another Black Knight kit. That's on the wish list. I'd be happy to build that. That I think that's all the new stuff that I put on there. And there's some gear at the bottom if you want to pick me up a piece of gear. But yeah, I try to refresh that constantly with some inexpensive stuff and some more pricey stuff. Again, if you buy something, it'll jump the queue. If you want to get me a belated birthday gift, you could. I have a throne wish list. That is my alternative to Amazon because people say they want an alternative to Amazon, and I believe them. So I have a throne wish list. That's mostly gear. And, of course, you can always go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They send you an email with the gift card code. Then you send me a DM on Twitter or a DM on Blue Sky or a DM on Mastodon. Or you could, of course, send me a whisper here on Twitch with that gift card code. I will then use that gift card code to buy a model kit from USA Gundam Store. The most convoluted, the most steps, a thing people have done. If you want to support me and not spend any money, you can join my Discord if you like the people you saw in chat here. We talk about a bunch of things. I post build photos. People post stuff that they're working on occasion. It is a nice little community full of cool people. I got a message here. Oh, a second one. I got a second question. Sorry. Tony the Swordsman over on Patreon is asking me questions for my Q&A, which is cool. And maybe I will answer those questions on the Q&A. I might. Sorry, I got distracted by that. I will deal with that later. I got a couple video links for you to check out before we get back to building. I'm going to talk about a manga that I've been reading and anime I've been watching. Let's talk about Pat Bear's Anime Club, which is my this particular video that went up. If you didn't watch that, I would like you to watch that. That was recorded live two Tuesdays ago. It is my look at the spring season and then looking ahead towards the summer season, which has officially begun. 2 shows started this week. One of them only premiered in the US and will be in Japan later, but another show started its regular run. So we are in the summer season. Am I watching either of those shows? Not yet, but this weekend I will watch some of Suicide Squad Isekai because the first 3 episodes went up on Hulu and Max, and I am going to watch those because I still have a Hulu account right now, so I will watch at least one of those episodes because I always try to watch the Isekais, and then another show started, which I can't remember which one it was, but it did start. Another one started I think yesterday. Episode 1 or maybe 2. Yes, the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army is a human. That's right. The Ike is the main character. So that started, and I believe that is the first show of the new season, other than of course Suicide Squad Isekai, which did start airing. 3 episodes are up of that, and then Friday there's a couple new shows, but those are kid shows that I will not be watching. Oh, also. The new Code Geass starts. I don't even know who got that. I can't remember. I'm going to look. Who got that? Oh, Hulu has that. Okay. Hulu has the new Code Geass. Rose of Recapture. Disney Plus and Hulu. I will not be watching that because I do not care. I do not care for it. Let's see. The other video that I would love you to check out, not love you. I would love for you to check out is my weekly series Kuma Baer, my weekly anime recommendation. I am finishing up Mecha Month by talking about Star Driver, which you might have missed. Is a shonen style series with a lot of twists and turns and some really cool action. It is like a dude trying to figure out how to deal with this school. His secrets, their secrets, the cool mechs, what are they going to be used for? Who's on whose side? Great vibes, awesome music. Star Driver. Watch my 35-second video on Star Driver and then check that shit out. I am going to talk about a manga that I have been perusing, and then I will talk about an anime that I have been watching in just a moment. But first, I need to drink some water because I am in desperate need of it. And then we got to keep working on these feet. Got to work on these feet. So we will do that. And I'll drink some water right now. All right. Let's see. Let's keep working on these feet here. We'll do that, and then we'll start. And I will tell you about a manga that I have been reading, which is a long fucking title. The assistant mage parts way with his power-abusive alchemist childhood friend and wants to start a slow life in a town in the remote region. The assistant mage parts way with his power-abusive alchemist childhood friend and wants to start a slow life in a town in the remote region. Which, if it ever got an adaptation, would not be that long of a title. But as a manga and a light novel, that is the title we get. What's the fucking deal with this one, Pat? It is a banished or kicked character. In this case, he quit. So maybe he wasn't banished, but she was expecting him to crawl back. Basically, this is an overpowered main character. Except people would, like, a lot of these overpowered main characters, you're like, look, I understand it's a self-esteem issue. He's been beaten down. He's been treated poorly. But, like, how does he not know that he is capable, even if he has been mistreated? How is he unaware that he's so strong? In this case, it kind of makes sense. It starts from a position where you, like, kind of understand where things went wrong for our dude. Our main guy, Lloyd, his skills are in alchemy, but his gathering skills are such that he knows he has a low chance of finding materials, right? Alchemists make stuff, but they need the materials to make those things, right? And you can spend a lot of money having people go out and gather, or you can gather yourself. In his case, so it makes sense that his girlfriend, his childhood friend, who is an Ruby, who is an esteemed alchemist and is great and has great results. It makes sense that, well, what is he good for? He has to go out and he has to work so hard to find things, and he doesn't find things fast enough for her, and whatever. And she's the one making all this cool stuff. Now, when he finally has enough, and he finally quits. Here's the thing we learn. One of the reasons why her alchemy is so good is because his materials are so good. And yes, he has a low gathering rate, right? His chance of gathering stuff is low. But that's to offset the cheat that everything that he does collect are way better than they should be, are the best shit. He is very good at that. And so, like, again, this is a self-esteem issue. A lot of this is going to be the jokes of, like, him being like, oh, yeah, well, whatever. And people being like, no, not whatever. This shit rules. Turns out she is fucked without him because she gets other people to do the collection jobs. And they're like, I can't go there. I can't do that. Like, what are you talking about? Who did you have collecting things? Because and so it is. Some people just hate the, like, low self-esteem main character thing, that, like, sometimes the main characters either have low self-esteem or they have to be dumb or just, like, really confused or make weird assumptions. And that can be frustrating to people, and some people don't like that. I don't hate that as a character choice. So I have no problem with this particular story and dealing with the fact that this dude, like, does not have a high opinion of himself. I will say, things are not immediately awesome for him. It's not like he's instantly doing well, but he has a lot of advantages because he is collecting these weird things. And he does find some people that instantly think he's pretty cool. So that works out pretty well. Also, uh, turns out, as I said, the assistant mage, right? Alchemy is part of doing magic. Turns out he's pretty good as a fucking magician. Like he can collect things. He didn't have to be an alchemist. He could have just been a magician or a mage or a wizard, and that would have been real good for him. Turns out. And then also we see a lot of her struggling. Ruby. She is almost. It seems like she is about to be put to death. Consistently for just fucking up. And then eventually they give her like they give her an assistant who is supposed to be like the best in the country, and he's just like, wait, the guy that was working for you is awesome. What the fuck happened here? Like he finally recognizes it, and there's some shenanigans. So if you do like your villainous person getting their comeuppance, there is comeuppance in this one, and it's pretty quick. It won't be long lasting because it looks like there's some sort of other shit going down. There's, of course, there's like conspiracies and things like that. The assistant mage parts ways with his power abusive ancient alchemist childhood friend and wants to start a slow life at a town in the remote region is totally serviceable. I think it's totally fine. You don't have to race to read it, but if you like those kind of stories where there's some action, but also there's some silliness, I think you'll have fun with that one. And now I will tell you about a pretty good episode of Whisper Me a Love Song. Paste. There. Talk about this episode of Whisper Me a Love Song. So, Whisper Me a Love Song had 2 weeks off. We only had episode 9. So they're going to go deeper into this next season. So there'll be some times where I'm talking about some new shows while also talking about some shows that are still going on. The quality of this episode certainly took a little bit of a jump from episode 8. This is definitely a budget show. My hope is that the time they took off was because we are going to be getting musical performances in the next couple episodes, and they needed time and budget for that. So that's my hope anyway, because the first time there was music, it did not look good. And the second time there was music, it did look way better. So my hope is third time in the coming days, we'll see some more music and it'll look pretty okay. But what happened in this episode of Whisper Me a Love Song? Well, episode 9 of Whisper Me a Love Song. If you haven't been watching this, Himari is a girl who fell in love with our other main character, Yori. She did not fall in love with Yori. Yori's like love at first sight was with Yori's voice, because the show is about musicians. So she fell in love with Yori's voice, and they're dating now because of that. But Yori wanted them to date because Himari wants Himari to date her for her, not necessarily for her voice. It's complicated. There are multiple love triangles happening here. Shiho, who used to be in the band SS Girls that now Yori is the lead singer of, she quit that band to join another band because they weren't taking it seriously enough. So they're rivals, even though Yori is the one that joined the band after her, because Shiho might have feelings for Aki, who definitely has feelings for Yori. It's lots of complicated. It's a high school drama. Shit's complicated. They're all trying to figure stuff out. We'll see what happens there. Anyway, Himari and Shiho, I should say, had a conversation. We got some backstory in that last episode. But Shiho does not know that Himari is dating Yori. She will find out in this episode. Uh, so she's trying to. Himari is trying to help everybody. There is a music contest coming up, so there is a lot of back and forth there and a lot of competitive spirit here. Of course, Himari and Momika are in the cooking class, and they decide to use that, and they're gonna have people because there's the cultural festival's coming up, so they're gonna invite girls from both bands for a food tasting to help them decide what they're gonna serve. And they eventually do, but at first she does not tell each group about the other, which leads to, of course, people being bummed. Because she invites both bands. Let's see. Because she wants Aki and Shiho to work some shit out. And yeah, Lorelei is the other band. So members of Lorelei and members of SS Girls are there. And nobody's really psyched about that shit. And nobody's like immediately like, oh, cool. Yeah, we should definitely figure this out. Most of them are just like, that's not, I didn't come here. Aki tries to make peace and people are not psyched about that. Shiho, she's like, yeah, let's try to get along. Anyway, Shiho, why'd you quit our band? It's like instant and very high school and made me laugh. It is not supposed to be a funny moment, but it is that like nervous laughter where it's just like, yeah, let's all try to get along. Anyway, why did you fuck everything up before? Shiho is mad about it. She was mad at Himari for, and she's like, I wish I hadn't told you anything about me. And I certainly didn't expect you to do this and throw this party. Everyone convinces Shiho not to leave and at least eat the food. Himari and Yori have a little cute moment. And Shiho now finds out that the girl that she's been talking to is dating her rival. And she is, of course, weirded out and confused by that. Now she's like, hey, let's add... They have a wager about who's going to do better. And she wants to add something to that. Shiho wants Himari to become Lorelei's manager, which is a weird jump. And I'm not quite sure where that's coming from. It is including her more in the story, I guess. So I guess that's good. Aki and Yori don't want to do that. And Himari says, I will do it, I guess. I guess I'll do it. And they're like, basically, like, you only have to be the manager until the cultural festival ends. You don't have to do it after that. Like, we're not saying you gotta always be here, but you know, it's weird. It's a weird extra thing. It is adding extra stakes to a thing that already has a lot of stakes, and so I found that to be odd, but okay. But yeah, it was a strange bit of circumstance in this episode. But basically, they're like, I don't know if that makes... Not everyone is convinced. Not everyone thinks it makes any sense. The band is kind of split on if they like this idea. And then the SS girls are kind of united in their dislike of Shiho. And they're confused about the whole Himari thing. Aki feels bad because she blames herself for getting Himari involved in all that, but she doesn't want to let down her friend. You know, we got some feelings. There are some feelings mixed on about this one. We also get a little bit from the other girls in the band who we don't see much of. We get some of their thoughts, which is fine. And then, of course, Himari wants everyone to do well. And let's see. Himari meets with the band, and the band has not existed for that long, which we kind of already knew, but Himari didn't know. and so she wants to know more about how the band got formed. Uh, and apparently they're going to learn. We're going to learn in the next. I think in the next episode we're going to learn this band's origin story, which I guess I don't particularly care about myself personally. So again, we only have 3 more episodes left in the show because it did start late in the season and they did take 2 weeks off, so it makes sense that they're behind. Um, and again, I don't know if a big revelation about these other girls is going to mean too much to me, but sure. Maybe we'll give more backstory to Shiho, who is our, I guess, villain of the piece, but not really. I don't know. I can't pretend like this episode was amazing. I think it looked better than some of the other episodes. Again, I want to see more music, and I think we're not going to get that till episode like 11, maybe even episode 12. Maybe 11 is music, 12 is the fallout. So either it needs to have music or be gay. And this episode had like a couple moments where it was gay, but it was mostly just a teen drama, and just in general. And I kind of don't need. I don't know. It's a good one of those. It's just not like my favorite. This wasn't my favorite episode of a show that I like quite a bit. And that's the manga I've been reading, the anime I'm watching. I am behind on. I'm going to finish, but I think I'm going to finish at my own pace, The Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. The last episode I watched of it, I was like, okay. I like it, but it's not like making me feel over the moon. I plan for July for Kuma Baer to be recommending shows from this season, and it's feeling a little tough. The spring season had some good shows, but it didn't have a lot of great shows. It had some that I thought were like neat, but not a lot that I would be like, well, you have to watch this. It's going to be a little tough to recommend stuff for it, especially because there are 5 Wednesdays in July. So I am going to do 5 videos. I could theoretically do the last one because it's like, what is it? Theoretically, I could make the last Wednesday of July, which is the 31st. I could make that August, like treat it like August, but I'm going to keep to my own thing of like, no, in July, every month has a theme. July's theme is my favorites from spring. But when I came up with this and figured out what I was going to do every month, because I have every month planned out for this. I know what I'm going to be. I don't know every show I'm going to talk about, but I know the theme. Like there's like favorites of this, there's favorite of that. August is like chillest of chill. It is like the chill slice of life shows. My favorite of those. I can look this up. August is chillest shows. September is 80s. October is my summer of 2024 shows that I liked a lot because by then, because August, September, spring has that. Yes, because July is spring stuff. So yes, everyone's there. And then November, I actually don't know what I'm going to talk about in November. And then December is 90s stuff. I actually don't know what I'm going to talk about in November. I need a category. My categories so far have been January was best of 2023. February was romance, which makes sense. March was girls doing things, which does not have to be, but can be chill. April was winter 2024 shows. May was my favorite shows of 2000s. And then June was Mecha, which is this month. I'm doing 80s and 90s in September. I'm doing 80s, and December I'm doing 90s. So November. I could do another of a decade, but I think I'm gonna do another genre. Maybe November is gonna be isekai. Maybe like, yeah, I'm gonna put a question mark. It might be isekai because I haven't done that. I'm like, oh, my favorite isekai. Because I got a bunch of them. I could just do another month of Mecha because I really enjoy doing that month. I don't know. I already know August. August are done, which is great. I still have to figure out July. I have 2 shows I know what I want to talk about in July, but I think I'm going to need more. But I need 5. But August is 4, and I already know what I'm going to talk about there. Most people know them, but the ultimate chillest of chill anime. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends, as I continue to work on these feet here. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? What's got you happy? I did forget to put a piece on here, so I got to do that too. Sorry. What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you into? Let me know in the chat. This is your time to tell me what's going on with y'all, and I will tell you that there has been an update pretty recently, but I didn't notice it until the other day. There has been an update to Mech Builder, the demo for Mech Builder that I played on the demo stream. This Mech Builder change, they added an eyedropper. Remember, that was the thing that was definitely top of my wish list for that game, was the ability to, as you were doing custom colors for parts, to be able to pick the color that you would use so you didn't have to try to recreate it. They added that to the demo, which is awesome. They also, in the kit bashing mode, which I've played a little bit of, I didn't stream it because I didn't get to it there, but I have checked out a little bit more of the kit bashing. There is a group delete. You can then select a bunch of items and delete it all at once, so you don't have to be like, let me delete that, delete that. You can just group delete, which is helpful. But yeah, no, the eyedropper is really nice for doing custom colors, or just like going back to it and being like, I don't want to have to like find this color again and change all of this. I just want to change this one thing. That does make things a lot easier. So I'm happy with that. Again, I am planning on watching the Suicide Squad Isekai. It's done by Wit Studios, by the team that brought us Vivi, which I didn't love Vivi, but I appreciate Vivi. Vivi was going for things. It's that team. And I am excited for that. 3 episodes are on Hulu and HBO Max ahead of the Japanese release. America got the 3 episodes early, and then Japan's getting the other ones. And then there'll be, basically, I believe, when it launches, I don't know if America's going to be ahead or not, but right now we got 3 out there. If people want to take a look at that, they can, and see if that's something that they want to check out, which I do plan on watching. I did not, since Tuesday, which we played Electrician Simulator. Have I done much of anything? I did find some new creator wrestlers. I downloaded, we're not going to check them out for a little while, but I did download the update of the DLC for goddamn Post Malone and Friends. Post Malone is a playable character in WWE 2K24. He's a downloadable character. He's not a creator wrestler. His tattoos look very accurate, which is wild. His model is very fucking detailed. He is a bad wrestler, which is great. He has the funny number. His rank is 69. And I think that's appropriate. And we will see him and his fun music friends like the Headbangers and Jimmy Hart and Sensational Sherry and Honky Tonk Man. They will all be, and Jimmy Hart as a manager. They will all be in the game, and we'll do some stuff with them in the future, which I don't know when that's going to be. Sometime in July, I will play that game, because I would normally do it. It came out on Wednesday, so I couldn't do it on Tuesday. And then normally I would do it next Tuesday, right? Closest to the thing. But next Tuesday, Power Wash Simulator is going to have DLC. It's going to have the free summer pack, Alice in Wonderland inspired pack. So we're going to have to fucking play that shit, because that could be great or terrible. But hopefully great. I hope it's great, because I really like them. So we're going to do that on Tuesday. So then sometime in the future, I will do the WW2K24. And sometime this month, we're also getting the Steam release of the bundler, the base thing for Jackbox, and so we'll have to do that as a stream. Even though I'm always worried about doing Jackbox streams, but I do want to like do that because I think it'll be easier or interesting to have the hub together. So I am looking forward to doing that. Put this on backwards. I think I put this together wrong, everybody. I put this yeah. You can see here that I put this one on backwards. So I have to take this apart. And I'll do that while I'm checking out what y'all had to say. Ghost Valve is finishing up on Mob Psycho Season 2. Hell yeah, that's a good season. All the Mob seasons are good, and the OVAs are fine. We'll get back to Elden Ring at some point. Hell yeah, good luck to you. Doing Case of the Golden Idol instead. Nice. Yeah, I never really checked out those games. I watched some streams of people playing those games, the Case of the Golden Idol, and seemed neat, but I didn't get into it myself. Okay, so I don't remember how this comes apart, everybody. This comes off, which allows this to come off. And then how does this... I have to look at this back piece. This back piece... pop out. This. Okay. Now, where did I go wrong? Oh, I went wrong on... Wow, I went wrong on like way back in here. I fucked this up in a way that I was very surprised about. How did I fuck this up so bad? I like royally fucked this up. I like unbelievably messed this up because I put it the wrong direction, like as I was in a way that like shouldn't be possible. I fucked this up in a way that I shouldn't have been able to, and I don't know how to separate these two pieces easily. Yeah, all right. I'm going to get out the metal spudger. I'm getting out both metal spudgers. Let's see. Lashbrook says, I haven't been played much except for Multiverses dailies. Yeah, I totally gave up on that game. I'm doing my Hearthstone dailies, but I'm done with Multiverses, I think. Been trying to track down why my computer is blue screening every day. Lashbrook, good luck to you. You got to fucking fix that shit. I also bought a cheap telephoto lens. Took a picture of the friggin' moon. Hell yeah, Lashbrook. You take that photo. Don't let the moon think it hide from you. You see what you need to see. Lord Crashington has been rewatching Glow, which is still a great show. Hell yeah, it is. I didn't realize it was John Morrison that's in the first episode helping with the auditions. Oh yeah. Yeah, John's in there. Johnny TV's in there. Nathan Explosion says, Bison was released for Street Fighter 6, and he's almost too good. Hopefully he doesn't get nerfed before I go to EVO. Hell yeah, Lord Nathan. I hope you have a fucking great time at EVO. And yeah, I imagine he'll get nerfed before EVO, just because you don't want that. And that's how things work. All right, so I need to assemble it like this. I did this the wrong way, and now I am doing it the right way. This is how it's supposed to look. So you can actually use this piece. So now it goes like that, and then you turn it around, and then that goes into this part, where it should be. Fortune Cookie and Glow is also Knives Chow in the new Netflix Scott Pilgrim anime series. Yes. There's a bunch of... See, for me, Glow is about, like, my friends who were in Glow, and not like deep friends. Like I don't want to say that like I don't want to say that like everybody like Allison Brie. I know Allison I barely know Allison. Like I'm not saying that like, oh yeah, that's my friend. Like I'm going to look up the full cast list because like there are a bunch of people that I just like know. And then there are a bunch of people that are like around that I know pretty well. Like Kimmy Gatewood and Rebecca Johnson, I know very fucking well from my time in comedy. Like a mutual friend of ours who also auditioned. Like I helped out friends who auditioned for this show that lost their parts to Rebecca and Kimmy or Becca. I know her as Rebecca. She's listed as Rebecca, but I know her as Becca. They were Stacy and Dawn. They were the Rosenblatts early on, and then later they were Nuke and Ozone. But yeah, I mean, Mark Evan Jackson is someone that I've known for quite some time. And then like, yeah, there were a few people that like came through that I'm like, yep, I know some of these folks. Which was always weird. But the real thing is that Kimmy and Rebecca, I had talked a little bit, and of course I should also say I know Rich. Rich Summer, I know for many, many years. He was Harry Crane on Mad Men, and then was in this show. He's Mark on the show. And I've known him for many, many years, basically as long as I've known Kimmy and Rebecca. But Becca, I remember my friends were auditioning for those roles and didn't get them. And so when I heard that other comedy people I knew had been cast in that, I was like, hey, if you want to know anything, let me know. And they were like, we are going to talk to you. We also have so-and-so and so-and-so in LA, and we're talking to them as well. And they were people that I know for a very long time that knew a lot about wrestling and comedy in wrestling. So I was like, oh, great. You are all set. But yeah, I knew a bunch of people on that show. And a lot of like supporting cast. And some of the wrestlers that came through, I certainly like was aware of who they were. Well, yeah. Yeah, John Hennigan is in there episode. But yes, Fortune Cookie is Ellen Wong, who is and you said, oh, she's from the Netflix Scott Pilgrim. She's also Knives from the movie. Lord Crashington. Because they got the same people to come back. She's also in the movie. You could have said she's Knives from Scott Pilgrim. And according to Wikipedia, she was in the Carrie Diaries, which I forgot was a thing. No shade to that. I just did not remember that existed. Let's see. Yeah, if there's anything else anybody's working on or watching, like I said, I'm playing Hearthstone still. I haven't been playing Twist that often because they nerfed a bunch of the Twist decks that I really enjoyed. So I've just been playing some standard Hearthstone and some wild Hearthstone, and that has been going just fine. My Shaman deck has been getting a lot of wins. My big Shaman deck, I refined it a bit, and that has been going very good for me. So I'm happy with that. And my, that is the deck that I like best. And then this is not D9, is it? That's D8. Huh? Wait, what? Yes. This is the wrong piece. I'm putting that aside. I will find it later when I'm desperately looking for... Oh, D8. That was D8. Okay. I do need that soon. Tony's been playing Balatro when I've worked from home. The game dev has a hold on me. That game dev has a hold on you. Yes. I keep meaning to go back to Balatro. That is a game that I will return to. I took a long break from it because I was getting really frustrated with it. I was getting like uninstall the game frustrated. But I'm meaning to go back to it because I'm hoping that I will have an epiphany since I haven't played it for a bit. Also, let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. And let's thank Lashbrook for renewing 79 months on a 79-month streak. Thank you so much, Lashbrook, for saying just one more to 80. You are almost to 80. Indeed. Thank you for that. But yeah, let's throw the emotes in the chat and thank Lashbrook for Lashbrook's continued support. Appreciate you. Tony says, same, but one day it just clicked and I've won 2 runs in a row. Hell yeah, Tony. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, it is a game that I enjoyed. I just is this D13? Did I fuck up again and pull the wrong piece out? Is this D13? No, I don't know what piece this is. That goes aside into my deal with this later pile. I can't believe I did that twice in a row where I just pulled out the wrong piece because I wasn't paying attention. That's a good indication that I am towards the end of my my energy here on the stream. We are close to wrapping up though, so that makes sense. But yeah, I'm definitely losing steam, which is what I wanted to say when I said on my way to being out of energy, which is not a phrase that anyone uses. It's not anything. Okay, so this looks like this. How does this snap into that? Where does this go? What? Huh? When? What? Yeah, I'm definitely out of sorts here. If I'm staring at this piece of plastic like, how do you work? What do I do with this? How does this go together? It goes together like that. Now I know how it works. I don't know why that was so complicated. It didn't have to be. I made it very complicated. I'm occasionally pretty good at that. All right, so that opens up this spot here. And then this goes that. This is not the most instructive. This section of instructions here leaves a little bit to be desired. It is not my favorite bit of instructions in a model kit build. But I would say in general, these instructions have been very straightforward. It's just for whatever reason, this portion of the leg, I think, is just, this is where all the gimmicks are. And so sometimes the gimmicks can get a little wild on a model kit. It is nice working on something without any polycaps. Again, keeping with the Gundam theme. I will say all of these joints on this full mechanics are incredibly tight. There is nothing loose about any of this. I could keep these folded like this forever, and they're not like, I could put weapons on this or a shield, and it's not going to flop around, which is kind of neat. But yeah, there is an aggressiveness to that, which I don't hate, but I am like, oh, okay. We will continue on with this build. Let's put a little mark here so I know this is where I'm going. On Saturday, because Saturday we were streaming at our normal time, and I hope you will join me for that. We made a lot of progress on here. We did, honestly, we didn't make a lot of progress today. That's because this kit is very involved. We did the backpack, which looks rad. The backpack just looks awesome. So that's great. And we did the feet, and the feet look good. And then we also did a little bit of one of the legs. So we did get some done. It's not like as much as you would expect because this is a 1/100 scale with a lot of detail. So it is not simple to do things. The feet are more complex than any high grade foot is going to be. But we did get a lot done with it. I think I'm going to call that there, the stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go spend some time with them. I'm pretty sure I know who we're raiding tonight because they are doing a charity event. I am going to double check to make sure that they are still streaming because maybe they finished it up, but I believe they're taking part in a cool thing. Yes, Xandra is playing Teardown because Xandra is taking part in a VTuber charity event for VTuber SummerSlam. So we will see VTuber version of Xandra and not Xandra's lovely face. But that it's fine because Xandra is raising money for Gamers Outreach. So please consider making a donation, but at the very least, just hang out with my friend Xandra. Come along on this raid. Xandra made all my emotes, which we just put in the chat, and is also lovely. I love Xandra. one of my fave people. So we're going to go hang out with her. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Hope you come along on this raid. Hope to see you on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern as I continue to working on this excellent kit. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.